Welcome to this video by Perfect Scores. This is a video in the series of the top 150 words that you must know. We've already covered the first three parts and this is the fourth part that's going to deal with the next 30 words. Before starting the video, don't forget to visit us at perfect-scores.com. You can also like us and share us at facebook.com/perfectscores. And don't forget to email us and give us your valuable feedback and suggestions at perfectscores89@gmail.com. So let's get started with the video. Here is the first group of words that we have. That is laconic. Laconic is part of the word group that means very brief, to the point, so brief, concise, terse. These are all synonyms of laconic. That means someone who uses very few words. Laud, as you might be able to estimate from the word applause, means to praise someone. So from that you get words like laudatory comments, and applause. So that means to praise. Lavish is to spend a lot, to give unsparingly. For example, lavish wedding, a lavish dinner. So that is don't keep any stone unturned and spend as much as you want to. Lethargic is generally lazy, showing a lot of laziness, acting very slowly, and a synonym of that is sluggish. Sluggish again means very, very slow. So that is what lethargic is, and a related word is lethargy, that is laziness. Loquacious is something that we have done earlier in the form of the word garrulous. Garrulous was very talkative, and this is what we did in the previous video where we did a synonym, that is loquacious. Loq means speak a lot or talk a lot. So a person who is very talkative is loquacious. So let's revise the words. Laconic is brief, to the point. Laud is to praise. Lavish is give unsparingly. Lethargic is lazy. And loquacious is talkative. Here are the next few words. Lucid means very clear, something that is easily understood. So a synonym of that is pellucid. The next word is luminous. Luminous is easy because that means something that gives off light. So something that's brilliant. A few synonyms of that are refulgent and effulgent. So giving off light. Malinger, on the other hand, is a negative word. Mal always means something negative. So malinger means to avoid responsibility, to make something linger on for a time with negative intentions. So that is to shirk responsibility or to avoid responsibility, that is malinger. And that is also related to malign, although not directly related, but malign is also a negative word. The next one that we have is malleable. That's part of physics and chemistry. Malleable is a property of metal. That means it can be changed into different shapes, into different sheets, or into different shapes. So that is malleable. We can also use this for behavior. For example, young children have malleable behavior. That means something that cannot remain fixed, that is capable of being shaped or changed. Next is metaphor, that is actually a figure of speech. For example, if I say New York is the Big Apple. So I'm not saying that New York is like the Big Apple. I'm directly saying New York is the Big Apple. Or if I say mango is king of the fruit. So it's not actually a king, but that's the name that we give it. Or if I say he fought like a lion, or he was a lion, her eyes are diamonds, or her lips are roses. So all these are metaphors. So we are doing some kind of comparison without using words like and as. So lucid means clear. Luminous is brilliant, that gives off light. Malinger is to avoid responsibility. Malleable is something that can be changed or beaten into sheets or shapes. Metaphor is a figure of speech. Here is the next group of words. Meticulous is something that is done very, very carefully. A lot of attention to detail. So a synonym of that is punctilious. A lot of attention to detail. Next is misanthrope. Misanthrope is a negative root word. Anthrop means related to humans, anthropology. So misanthrope is someone who hates humanity. So basically a villain. And the opposite of misanthrope would be someone who loves humanity. So a philanthrope. The next word is mitigate. Mitigate means to compensate. For example, how do you mitigate the disaster? That means how do you bring down the level of the disaster? Or how do you mitigate last month's losses? That means how do you compensate or how do you balance or how do you make something better? The next word is mollify. That is actually a synonym of please. It's in the word group of satisfy. Number of synonyms for that. You have lenify, placate, appease, assuage. All these are synonyms of mollify. So mollification would be a derivative of mollify. The next word we have is monotony, which is related to boredom. So a synonym of that is ennui, something that is banal, pedestrian, hackneyed, basically boring. Another synonym is prosaic. Don't confuse this with mosaic. So prosaic is also boring because we keep doing the same thing over and over again. So meticulous is giving a lot of attention to detail, being very punctilious. Misanthrope is someone who hates people. Mitigate is to compensate or balance. Mollify is to please. And monotony is boredom. Here are the next few words. Naive is innocent, basically a beginner or someone who is immature. Obdurate refers to something that is resistant to persuasion, someone who is very stubborn or someone who is very obstinate. That kind of a person is going to be obdurate. The next is obsequious. If you remember, it figured in the past few videos. Obsequious refers to servile or fawn. That means to grovel at someone's feet. Indirectly, it means to flatter someone so much in order to get some favors. So servile, sycophant, fawn are all synonyms of obsequious. The next word is obviate. That means to prevent something. Obviate an accident, to prevent it from happening. So from this you can get obviation. The next word is occlude. That basically means to stop. So few synonyms of that: impede, hinder, and stymie. stymie. All these mean to stop. So naive is innocent. Obdurate is stubborn or obstinate. Obsequious is servile, fawning, grovel, sycophant. Obviate is to prevent. Occlude is to stop, impede, hinder, or stymie someone. So these are the 5 words. Here is the next group of words. Onerous means burdensome. For example, my job at the marriage was not at all onerous, not at all burdensome. Opaque is obviously the opposite of transparent. It can also refer to a topic, something that's not at all clear. Clarity in terms of understanding, something that's not very clear to understand, that is opaque. The next is opprobrium, that refers to disgrace, especially public disgrace or public humiliation. The president of the company had to go through opprobrium after his scandal was leaked. So that is opprobrium or public disgrace. The next is ostentation, which basically means to show off a lot, being very pompous and being very ostensible. So ostensible is going to be the adjective, and what you show off, the noun, that is ostentation. The next word is paradox, that means a contradiction. When two things that shouldn't be happening are happening together, that's a contradiction, that's a paradox, something that you can't explain. So let's revise these words. Onerous is something burdensome. Opaque is something that's not clear. Opprobrium is public disgrace or humiliation. Ostentation is showing off. And paradox is a contradiction. Here are the next 5 words. Paragon is an example of an excellence or perfection. So that is an example. That's paragon, the paragon of bravery, the paragon of courage. Pedant, as the root word ped suggests, it is related to teaching. So anything that has ped is usually related to teaching. Next is the word perfidious. Although this has the root word fid that refers to faith, perfidious actually means someone who is more than willing to betray someone else. So perfidious tendencies, and you get the word perfidy from perfidious. The next is perfunctory, something that is done like a routine, very monotonous and very mundane. So something that is really boring, that is perfunctory. The next is permeate, that means to enter. For example, water cannot permeate plastic. That is to enter or invade or penetrate. So let's revise these 5 words. Paragon is an example of excellence or perfection. Pedant is related to teaching. Perfidious is someone who is willing to betray the trust. Perfunctory is done as a routine, very monotonous, very boring, very mundane. And permeate means to enter, invade, or penetrate. So that's all in this video. Thank you so much for watching this video. And the next one after this is going to be part 5. That's going to deal with the next 30 words that you must know. Thank you so much for watching this one.